Yo, welcome back to the channel. Let me share the background story behind this 1978 Porsche 911 SC Targa. The owner of the car is a older gentleman who is just about ready to retire. We had a great conversation sharing stories about each other, and he mentioned that he plans to take his pride and joy, the 911 he owned for roughly 30 years, to Monaco so he can relax and have some fun. During the time of his ownership, the car was not always garaged and parked outside for most of the time. I could tell he was genuinely sad about the current state of the car. There were a lot of issues upon inspection of the entire exterior. We both went over the car together to point out which areas need to be addressed properly. My first impression upon seeing the car was that the white colored paint looked extremely dry, chalky, matte, with absolutely no gloss or clarity whatsoever. That's not a problem. From experience, I know the paint can still be improved with the proper steps and products. Only thing I need to be aware of is that I'm dealing with original paint. No panels were repainted before, therefore the paint system is very fragile and sensitive to aggressive plan of attacks. The main concern I had was all the rock chips and rusted areas in big condensed surface areas, such as the A-pillar channels and entire front end of the car. Over time, being parked outside and exposed to rain and foggy conditions caused the rust to spread further and further to the point that it can't be perfected unless repaired and repainted completely over it. While I was just gazing at the rust and rock chips, my brain started to shift into overdrive to think of what we can do to salvage the situation without requiring a trip to the auto body shop. Pretty much what I came with was that our focus was to remove the surface rust, and then I will go to my partner's auto body shop and custom make some paint to use as touch-up paint. I told him due to the age of the paint, I will do my best to color match it as close as possible, but I can't guarantee a 100% match because white colored paint also have yellow coloring in it as well. We agreed on the specific services to rejuvenate as much of the exterior as possible in a safely manner. The topic of this video is going to be about how I was able to accelerate my learning, my individual growth as a person, and business knowledge by surrounding myself with older people outside of my main social circles. When I got hired at the auto body shop, right after my interview with my old boss, he gave me a tour of the shop and introduced me to all my new coworkers. The shop had two buildings, one on each side of the street. One side was for the office, the bodyman work areas, the parking lot for customers' cars. The opposite side building was for the parts department and the painting booth. The previous job I worked at before this had a small parking lot that could fit about 6 cars, and the building could only fit 2 cars at a time. So coming from that perspective, this 2-building shop was huge. It could easily fit over 60 plus cars between two buildings. Initially, I was a bit overwhelmed with my new environment, but I settled in after a couple weeks. When my old boss was showing me around while simultaneously introducing me to all the new coworkers, I noticed everyone looked older than me and no one was in their 20s from my first impressions. At that time, I didn't think anything else about it or thought it was weird. I was the youngest employee, but now looking back from 11 years ago, it was a blessing in disguise. It took me about 1 month to get to know everyone and a bit more about their story and background of why they decided to work for a auto body shop. The demographics of the coworkers was really interesting to me. I was working with all types of people, from Asians, white, Latin, black, as well as high school dropouts, college dropouts, people with no formal education, people with college education, people that grew up from the streets, people that went to jail before. Some self-educated themselves by consistently working on their craft with no prior experience. When I found out I was working with a very different type of people that's not your usual, got good grades, went to a good college or a trade school, graduated, and found a job, I was able to relate more to them because I never got higher than a 2.0 in high school, and I dropped out of city college after 3 semesters with a GPA of under 2.0. When you work for a company, everyone will have specific job responsibilities to be a part of the production process. The production process is understanding each and every step from the beginning to the end. From the moment the customer drives through those front doors to when the customer picks up their car after repairs are completed. This was something I was really interested in learning from the moment I was hired. How do you take a group of people and find out their strengths and weaknesses to put them in a position to be successful to help run your business efficiently? At the time, I was confused how everyone was so good at their job position. I wanted to learn about that aspect as well. So you guys know I was hired as a car mover and car washer. That was technically my job title, if you want to put it that way. Every company has a rank hierarchy. Whether you believe it's right or wrong, that's just facts. That's how the real world works. There's always going to be somebody at the top, which is the CEO or owner, then someone at the bottom, which often are job titles that people don't value as much or respect. Well, guess what? I was at the bottom of the rankings for the shop, I didn't get no fucking respect for the first year that I worked there. My job title didn't offer enough value to the company. I wasn't able to help the company generate a lot of revenue like the people that worked in the office, who always got good treatment from the management. I didn't understand at that time, but I also didn't take it personal either. After 7 years of employment, I fully understood why I went through that experience. During my first year as a full-time car washer and car mover, I didn't do anything else besides that for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. The detail department consisted of a three-man team that included me. It was me, another guy, and the team leader that been at the shop for roughly 10 years. This guy and I did not get along in the beginning because I did not respect him as my team leader. At that time, I didn't understand yet why he was acting that way, but now I know. He was the type of person that would do the least amount of work and make others do more shit. He was also lazy at doing things he had no interest in, such as cleaning cars to prepare it for the customer to pick up at the end of the day. Him and I would argue every day about little things we didn't agree on. He was just being a pain in the ass to me and not a good teammate to cooperate with to get things done. But you know what? Although on the outside it looks like he wasn't teaching me anything, that couldn't be 100% more false. You see, due to him working at the shop for over 10 years, he's obviously a lot more experienced and knowledgeable than me, regardless if we get along or not. There were random moments where he would help me if I bugged the shit out of him nonstop, until he couldn't take it anymore from me. So to everyone else looking at us, when we are getting along and he's teaching me things, that's the tangible side of the things. But what no one else knew about me was I was working on the intangible things no one could see that I was developing and constantly growing each and every day throughout each situation or interaction. The team leader quit when I was in my third year. So the team leader been there for 12 years and I've been there for 3 years. By then, we became really close and good friends. Now, let me tell you guys what I learned from him and why he was acting the way he was towards me. Imagine you've dedicated 10 years of your life to a company and you have goals of wanting to move up in the company, but for whatever reason, they are not giving you that position to do so. And instead, you are doing the same job responsibilities as a new guy that just started working for the company, and the only difference would be you make a little more money and nothing else besides that. Over a long term of period, that work culture will have a negative impact on how you view the company based on how they are treating you. Then your motivation to do the best you can will get lower and lower until you just do the bare minimum to get by every day, becoming a never-ending cycle. In the end, it wasn't me that he was directing his frustrations to. It was a outcome of working for a job that you feel stagnant and you're not growing or learning anything new anymore. Now there's a vacant position in the detailing department, and someone needed to fill in that role. Over the course of 3 years of consistently working hard, showing improvements in understanding the entire production process, and learning what to do and what not to do from the team leader of the detailing department. Because I was able to start at the bottom, that helped me understand the human and social dynamics of interacting and working with other people. So naturally, when I was given the opportunity to be the team leader of the detail department, I already trained under someone for 3 years to put myself in a better position to be a better team leader than the previous. Surrounding yourself with people who are older can accelerate your growth process. Older people have more life experience. They've been through a lot of ups and downs. They had to overcome challenges I've never experienced yet. They are able to share stories with me to teach me valuable life lessons that I should not repeat by learning through their mistakes. Everything that happened to you is teaching you something. Don't think about why it's happening to me. Instead, why not me? Try me. It doesn't matter where you are in life. I've had life problems working for someone as an employee, and I still have life problems right now as a business owner. Problems never goes away. You take care of old problems, then new problems that you did not overcome yet will show up. It's a never-ending cycle, but that's a good thing. And the way I see it is that every day life will provide you opportunities to grow as an individual, and it's up to you if you accept the challenge and break through barriers, or it's gonna keep you down and put you in your place until you can't take it anymore.